Hey guys, welcome to FORDY Runs. I'm Chris Ford, aka FORDY. If you are new to running, you need to check this video out. I've got the top mistakes that you need to avoid if you are new to running. And actually, if you're not new to running, this might be worth checking out anyway, because I've got some top tips in here that you need to avoid if you are going out for a run. Hey guys, what's up? I'm FORDY, welcome along to the channel. If you are new to this channel, make sure you're hitting that subscriber button down below to stay up to date with all my latest videos. And this is my mistakes that you need to avoid. So this video is the mistakes that I think you could make and you need to try and avoid before you go and do your long run. These are the things that I definitely don't do before I go out on a long run. So let's get stuck in. I think the first thing, and this is probably one of the most important things, is not to eat too much too close before you go out and do your long run. I particularly stick to the rule of not eating anything 2.5 hours, sometimes 3 hours before I go and do a long run. It works well for me on a Sunday morning because actually I don't eat anything, I just get up and run, which might seem a bit stupid, but because I've carb loaded the night before, I feel like I'm in good shape to go out early in the morning, and I don't want to worry about eating. As I get closer to an event, I will practice myself eating something, getting up earlier and eating something, just so again, as comes race day, the body's used to doing that. But in general training, I try and avoid eating before I go out for a run, because if you do that, you're going to go out, you're going to get cramping, you're going to get bloating, you might need to go to the toilet, you're going to get in all sorts of trouble out of this. So just avoid it, believe me, it's not worth it. So if you're going to eat, stick to that rule, 2 or 3 hours before you do your long run. Put something into your system, but really you really need to leave that gap. I mean, it's alright if you're doing like a shorter run, you can maybe leave less of the time, but I'm talking about the long runs now. Don't eat anything before you go out there for at least 2 or 3 hours beforehand. Actually, that's a good point. I might do a video on why I run in the mornings, because that's one of the reasons why I run so early in the mornings, because it takes that problem of having breakfast out of the equation. So I might do that, because someone was asking me about that the other day. Anyway, that's another topic. Number 2, let's call it number 2. The worst things you could do before you go out on a long run is probably, let's call it the incorrect warm-up. You've probably seen other YouTubers doing videos on static stretching and how to avoid it and all that sort of stuff, and I couldn't agree any more with them. You know, they're so right. You can't get up and then do a load of static stretching and then expect to go out and run and not get injured. Because the chances are you could do. Static stretching, there's a tongue. Static stretching really is one of the worst things you could do before you go out. You haven't got the blood going through your system yet, so I'm no doctor or physio or anything like that, but I'm just telling you from experience, if you come down here and start really stretching yourself out, it's going to do you no good. I say, if you don't believe me, Google it, check it out, there's loads of stuff on there. What I would advise you to do is do what I do what others do, runners do, and that is to just build up into your pace. Start slowly, whether it's a walk or a gentle jog or whatever, but then just build up and warm up into your run. You don't need to go out and run really fast, you just build up your pace and you'll warm up, and that is the best way to do it, to be honest with you. So stretching's okay, but I'm talking about static stretching. Google it and then come back to me if you've got any comments to stick and be like. The next thing I would say that you've got to avoid, or a big mistake not to do before you go out, is drink loads of water. You've got to be hydrated throughout the week. You've got to be drinking loads of water. I've spoke about it in other videos about drinking loads of water and keeping hydrated, but one of the big mistakes you can make is gulping down loads of water thinking you've got to be hydrated before you go out, and then you're drinking right up until you go, like you're doing a bottle of water. It's a big mistake, don't do it. I typically don't drink maybe an hour if I'm going really long, and then I might sip up to half hour and then I stop, because I don't want to just go out and then have to stop for a wee. It's just silly. Be hydrated much as you can up until you run. So like, as I said, let's use this Sunday morning as an example. I'm drinking loads all Sunday or Saturday or through the week, and then Sunday morning I'll get up, I'll literally sip a bit of water, and then I'll leave it while I sort myself out, get myself changed, go to the toilet, and then I'll go out. And that's the best way of doing it. You don't want to be gulping, drink loads of water before you go out. It's just stupid, and you're going to get cramps again, you're going to need to go to the wee, and it's just a nightmare. So that's a mistake, and you want to really avoid doing that. Number 4, I would say, and everyone says it, and it's most common sense, but don't wear any new gear on a long run. If you're going to buy stuff, which is great, get out there and get new stuff, get into it, but don't put it on and go out there and do a long run with it. It's just stupid. I've made the mistake. I mean, even now I'm breaking in new shoes as we speak, new running shoes, and I'm just using them to walk, and they've given me a blister. So imagine if I went out and put them on and went and done 30 miles, they'd kill me. So don't wear anything new, don't wear any t-shirts could rub, that's not been washed, hats that you haven't tried wearing, gloves that might be too hot, anything like that. You might buy a raincoat and you realise it's a windproof, not a raincoat. All that sort of stuff. Wear it on your shorter runs, break stuff in, try out your tech before you do your long runs. Get it used to it, get set with it, and then put it into your training schedule. It's a real mistake that people make. But it sounds like common sense, but believe me, I've done it, so make sure you don't do that. The other thing is making sure, or the worst thing actually you could do is not go to the toilet before you go. So let's get that the right way around. So yeah, one of the worst things that people probably could do is not go to the toilet before they get up and do a long run. And I'm not talking about number ones, I'm talking about number twos. People don't really talk about it because it's crude, which is fine. But if you're getting up and running in the morning like I do, make sure you do your morning constitution, get that out of your system, clear yourself so you're nice and ready. Try and build that into your training so you're used to, before you're going on a long run, that your system's empty and your digestive system's settled down. And try and get that into your system, because you get out there and you start taking gels on, or sugary drinks and all that sort of stuff, and you haven't been, it's going to make you even more uncomfortable. So that's one of the worst things you could do, is not visit the toilet before you go out there. So make sure you do that, build that into your schedule. And probably the last thing to avoid, or the worst thing you could do before you run, if we call it that, is not to listen to your body. If your body's telling you that it's hurting, if your body's telling you that your knee's hurting, or your body's telling you that you've got a sore throat or something like that, listen to it. If you don't listen to it and then go out there and run, it's one of the worst things you could do. You're going to make it worse, especially if it's a niggling little injury. You're going to make it worse. So always listen to your body. It's one of the worst mistakes people can make before they go out and do a long run. If I wake up and I'm not feeling tip top, I might shorten the distance. If I get out and I start running and I start feeling really ropey, I'll shorten up. The other day I had a headache. I mean, it was a proper one of them sinus ones. I turned around and came back. It ain't worth it. It's not going to affect your training too much. You can, move your training schedule around. You've got those training schedules are flexible, and they're designed to, to be moved about. So don't make the mistake that I think, some people are tempted to do, and that's not listening to their body. They think, I can just run through it. You can't. So don't be a hero. You've got to think about the long-term plan. It's a marathon, not a sprint. Yeah, that's it. They're the worst things I would say to avoid before you go out and do your long run. As I say, stuff that I've learned along the way. I hope it helps. If you've got any feedback, stick it below. You've got any comments, stick it below. Obviously only positive ones, please. If you're liking the videos, subscribe and give me a thumbs up. Follow me on Instagram, on Twitter, FORDY Runs, and check out fordyruns.com. There's some stuff on there, and there's more videos coming, and I hope you like it. I'll catch you later.